Welcome to the TFD News Network. I'm your host, Ryan McIntyre, with tonight's top story, loneliness. As we know, loneliness is the feeling of emptiness a person feels when they are alone or even with people they care about. Recent studies have shown that regular feelings of loneliness can be as detrimental to one's health as alcohol, cigarettes, or overeating. Not to mention, it can lead to all of these things as an effort to cope with how it makes you feel. Loneliness can even alter the way your genes function, damage the immune system, increase the risk of heart disease, and increase the chance of early death by 45%. On top of all of this, solitude can lead to various sleep and mental disorders like depression. But how severely can a person be affected by loneliness? In 1957, a girl with the pseudonym Jeannie was born in Southern California. There are many graphic details about Jeannie's upbringing, but the most important part is that she was completely isolated in her bedroom for more than a decade and was hidden so well by her abusive father that their neighbors didn't even know that Jeannie existed. When she was finally discovered at the age of 13, Jeannie could not speak, walk, or perform simple, everyday tasks. To this day, Jeannie resides in Los Angeles as a ward of the state of California. Similar to Jeannie's situation, prisoners who are subjected to solitary confinement can experience extreme mental effects. It's estimated that at least 80,000 people in the United States are held in some sort of solitary confinement. Common practices of solitary confinement may include at least 22 hours of complete isolation, no contact with any other people, neglect of physical and mental health, or even torture. This can produce intense, damaging effects on inmates, like psychotic outbreaks, reduced memory, panic attacks, hallucination, and suicidal tendencies. There's actually a legal term used to describe the disastrous effects of these practices. It's called death row syndrome. It's reported that anywhere from 20 to 66% of prisoners in solitary confinement have some type of mental illness and consequently death row syndrome. Anthrophobia is the fear of people and of companionship. People with this fear can even be triggered by the people they know and trust. This is commonly confused with social phobia, the fear of certain social events and interactions, like public speaking or eating in front of other people. Anthrophobes can develop their fear after being bullied, being the victim of a violent crime, or it can be caused by pre-existing mental disorders. Symptoms can include sweating, shaking, blushy skin, difficulty speaking, and increased heart rate. A similar condition is xenophobia, defined by Merriam-Webster as fear and hatred of strangers or foreigners, or of anything that is strange or foreign. This is a broad term that explains indifference or hatred towards certain cultural aspects of different countries, or intolerance of an entire group of people. Xenophobia can be caused by bad experiences with people of another culture, predispositions to other people's racist or intolerant behavior, propaganda, or simply a general fear of the unknown. Some of the world's most racist countries include Jordan, India, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Vietnam, Indonesia, and South Korea. This is based on a study done by the Washington Post, wherein 40% of Indians and more than 50% of Jordanians surveyed say that they would not tolerate living next to somebody of a different race. The European Union penned numerous laws, such as the Race Equality Directive and the Employment Equality Directive, in an attempt to combat bigotry and discrimination based on race and religion among several European countries. Most people are familiar with mental hospitals. They are safe spaces for people with psychological complications to receive treatment. You might expect these hospitals to be the most prominent homes for the mentally ill, but in 2012, there were 350,000 people with mental disorders living in prisons. That's 10 times more people than were living in legitimate asylums. The United States is home to 2 million prisoners, more than 20% of the entire global prison population. In fact, California has so many prisoners that their largest mental health care providers are prisons. As it turns out, it is legal in some states for police to arrest people with mental disorders who haven't even committed any crimes, to quote-unquote promote public order. In other news, today marks the 30-year anniversary of Ellenville High School's closing after earth science teacher Michael O'Connell was electrocuted. After attempting to sharpen a pencil, the teacher was shocked and the school experienced a power outage. The incident took place April 21st, 2017, as he was recording an educational TV show. We now go to Arthur with the weather. Who's Arthur?
Pretty much everywhere. It's gonna be hot.
Then I don't need a jacket.
Pan attacks,